on this Easter Sunday morning to the virtual Greater Boston Church of Spiritualism. We're glad you could join us today. Please join me in our opening prayer. Infinite Spirit, beloved God, as we open our hearts and minds to your presence, to your light, and to your love, we ask a blessing upon all who have gathered here together, all who are seeing this broadcast. We ask special blessings upon our families today, and all of those who are working in the healthcare industry and the food industry. We ask you to bless our world, to eradicate this virus, to remove the fear that people are holding in their hearts. Be with us today, ignite our light, and help us to be reborn in your love and your light. We give thanks for your presence within us and around us as we say Amen. And I'd like to open the service with a lovely Easter poem. Since it's Easter Sunday, and I'm unsure of who the author really is, it says author unknown, but it's a cute little poem. The Easter feeling does not end. It signals a new beginning of nature, spring, and brand new life, of friendship, peace, and giving. The spirit of Easter is all about hope, love, and joyful living. So let us hold these in our hearts and rise to a higher being. And now if you'd please join me in our healing prayer, and the words will appear on the screen. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstruction from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help, and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and the power of God. Amen. And now it is time for our healing meditation. We ask that you just get comfortable in your chairs wherever you are and allow yourself to relax, to let go of the stress and the strain of life, and just breathe. Close your eyes and take a nice deep breath and allow yourself to relax, to just be at peace in this sacred moment of now. Focusing on your breath, breathing in and breathing out, and allowing that breath to relax you, to soothe you, to calm you. And as we know that presence of God, that presence of light is always available to us, always around us and within us, let us imagine and feel that divine healing light moving in with our breath, moving into our lungs, filling our lungs with light. And let's feel that healing power moving through our bloodstream, helping to heal us, to relax us, to soothe us, to calm us. And every breath we take in, we feel more and more light. And as we breathe out, we release the stress, the fear, the worry, all of the grief that we may be holding. We allow it to flow away from us and allow this divine healing light to fill us, to bring us back to our natural state of ease and grace. As we breathe, we feel that light moving from the top of our head all the way down to the tip of our toes, soothing, filling every muscle, every cell, every bone, every joint, every nerve, filling every system and every organ, bringing our bodies back into harmony within themselves, building a strong immune system, helping us to be strong in these days and the days ahead. Breathe in that light and allow it to fill your body, fill your entire body ignited in light, and that light flowing out through your pores and filling your auric field. As you feel that light filling your body, you allow your body to relax and be restored. And you feel that light continuing to flow through your mind, clearing away the thoughts and the worries, clearing away any negative thoughts that you're holding on to. Just imagine a peaceful river of light flowing through your mind, releasing you from all of those thoughts that have held you back from knowing that all is well, that all is perfect. that you are safe. And as you feel yourself releasing those thoughts and quieting your mind, feel your mind opening and expanding to the light and the love that is around you. Feel yourself lifting into that higher mind where you know that you are spirit, that you are a part of God, that you are loved beyond measure, and that all is well. Allow that light to fill your mind with peace and the clarity of knowing who you are as a part of God, as an eternal being. And allow your mind to continue to open to receive the inspiration, the guidance that you need right now in these days. And as your mind expands and your body relaxes, feel that divine light washing over you, washing through you, moving through that emotional body, allowing all those negative emotions to move as they flow down and out from you and are replaced with divine, healing, unconditional love. And just feel yourself encased in that love. Feel it flowing through every layer and every level of your being, bringing to you exactly what you need. Feel your heart expanding and opening wide as it fills with love. And you are reminded who you truly are as a magnificent divine spirit. Feel yourself lifting high above this physical plane as you feel bathed in that love. And feel yourself moving into a place of beauty and light. And imagine yourself now sitting in a beautiful garden, filled with beauty in every color, every flower that you have ever imagined and beyond. And just feel the energy of this garden surrounding you, taking in its beauty, feeling every flower vibrating in the energy of God, in the energy of pure love and light. You can see the light emanating from every petal. And you just take in this beauty and this light and this connection that you have with each and every flower. And as you gaze upon these flowers, you know that these flowers are always nurtured. They trust in that higher power. They trust that they will always receive what they need to survive and to thrive. And as you realize this, you realize that these flowers in God's garden are just like you. For you are a flower in God's garden, here to bloom, here to thrive, here to grow and share your magnificence and your beauty. And like the flowers, you will always be given what you need to survive and thrive and to be who you truly are. Feel that light flooding you now. Feel that love surrounding you now. Feel that peace at the core of your being, flowing through every part of you, restoring you, renewing you, so that you may live each and every moment in a state of peace, in a state of knowing that you are eternal, that you are loved and you are supported. Feel your loved ones, your guides, and your teachers gathering in this garden of light to help to remind you that you are never alone. Feel that love surrounding you. Take it in and send your love out to them, your gratitude for their support in each and every day. And choose to return to this moment, to return to this garden of light anytime you need it, to feel your own beauty, to feel yourself surrounded in beauty and light and love, and allow it to become a part of you, so that wherever you are, you carry that garden. For you are always a flower in God's garden, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing. So take a nice deep breath and allow this knowledge to permeate every part of you, so that you may be free, free to live fully each and every day, No matter what life brings to you, know you are supported and loved in all of it. And as you breathe deeply, feel yourself gently being brought back to the room. Feeling the seat beneath you, feeling the clothes upon your body, but feeling the strength, the light, the love, and the beauty that continues to exist within you. And know that that will always be there, for you are always surrounded in the light and love of God. For wherever you are, God is, and all is well. Take a nice deep breath now. Feel yourself coming back fully to the room. And as you open your eyes, smile and know that all is well. Let us read our Declaration of Principles. In spiritualism, we have no rules or regulations, no dogmas or creeds, but we do have a set of principles that will help us to live our lives in the best possible way. So please read them with me as the words will appear on the screen. We believe in infinite spirit and that God is infinite spirit. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite spirit. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of an individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule. Whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. We affirm the moral responsibility of the individual, and that they make their own happiness or unhappiness as they obey nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul, here or hereafter. And we affirm the precepts of prophecy and healing contained in the Bible are divine attributes proven through mediumship. So here we are on Easter Sunday. And this Easter feels very different than other Easters that we've celebrated. I know if you're like me, I'm thinking a lot about the Easters of the past, the family gatherings, the big dinners, the fun and the games, the Easter egg hunts. And those brought a lot of fun and joy to our lives, but this Easter is a little bit different. We can't all be together, but we can reflect on the true meaning of Easter and what the symbolism behind Easter really is, and take time to reflect on the past and dream an even better future. I'm told that the planets are aligned in support of us, giving humanity an important opportunity to focus on an intention of unity. Even the moon, we just had a full moon this week, is helping us to find balance within our own cocoons and reminding us to reflect and review on how we've lived our lives up to now and how we will live them in the future. It's nice to know that the whole universe is conspiring to help humanity. As we look at Easter, we understand that there are, two strands behind Easter. There is, of course, the religious one, where millions of people around the globe are celebrating Jesus rising from the dead and proving to us that life truly does continue. That resurrection truly brings us the understanding that we are eternal, that we will live on after we shed these physical bodies. We will continue on as the spirits we are, have always been and will continue to be. And this resurrection that is celebrated is really helping us to celebrate our own spirit. So that is a wonderful part of Easter, a part that we should all be focused on. But the other part of Easter is the fun side. The Easter bunny, the Easter eggs, the decorating them. And as we think about the fun of Easter, we also recognize that they're not so far apart, these two. Jesus rose from the dead to bring new life, to bring everlasting life to everyone. And when we look at the symbolism and the history of the meaning underneath the Easter Bunny and the eggs and the history of how all of this came about, we understand that they're really pretty close. So I'm going to give you a little bit of history. Back in 300 AD, the Emperor Constantine was in charge, and there were two religions vying. And there was paganism and there was Christianity. And Constantine decided he wanted to rule everyone. He didn't like this division and this separation, so he decided to merge the two religions. So he took pagan holidays and he took Christian holy days and he brought them together. So it's no accident that Easter occurs around the spring equinox, because in the pagan holiday, the spring equinox was really big. It was very exciting. It was celebrating the return of new life. And they would celebrate the goddess Estra, the goddess of spring, would return, and she would return bringing new life to the earth. We would see the grass growing, the plants beginning to burst forth. It brings us all great joy, doesn't it, when we see the green returning. I know it does my heart good to see the earth coming back. So it's a celebration of new life returning to the earth. But the interesting thing about the goddess Estra, she would arrive with bunny rabbits coming with her, and she would be carrying a basket of eggs. And of course, the bunny rabbits were a symbol of fertility, because back in those days, this was a celebration of fertility, and it was a return of life. And we see the same now. The animals give birth in springtime. And so the people in those days would celebrate the fertility within their families, hoping for new children. But today we think about the fertility of the earth and the fertility within us in a little bit different way, because we're all giving birth to something all the time. We're giving birth from our own souls, what we have within us. So the question, as we are reflecting on the meaning of Easter and the symbolism behind it, is, what do you have within you that's waiting to be born? We all have projects that we have been dreaming about, or paintings, or things that we have ready to be created from within us. So this is a great time to reflect upon what is within us that's wanting to come out. It's very important. We're all giving birth. We're all bringing new life to the earth by our actions, by the love that we share. So the other piece of symbolism that is very important, one of my favorite, is the Easter egg. An egg is a symbol of potential. You know, we all come from an egg, don't we? We come from a fertilized egg and we grow and become the humans we are. And within that egg holds genetics. It holds what color hair we'll have, what color eyes we'll have. And it also holds our spiritual potential, which is so important. Who we will be, how we will express ourselves in the world. So the egg represents our potential. Whoops, mine's really flowing. But as we think about our potential, we have to think, are we living our full potential, or are we hiding it? Because sometimes we're a little bit afraid to show the world what we have within us. And so we hide. And it's time now to allow ourselves to bring forth those wonderful creations within us, bring forth our full spiritual potential. You know, all the spiritual teachers that have come throughout the ages have been helping us to fulfill our spiritual potential, to allow our spirit to lead the way instead of our ego. That battle between good and evil, that happens within us, doesn't it? And it is the spirit and the ego vying for attention, vying for control. So it's up to us whether we choose to allow the ego, which brings us fear and worry, the ego, which makes us feel like we're temporary beings, because the ego is temporary. But when we allow our ego to rule us, we are lost in fear and struggle. The other part of us, the higher part of us, is our spirit. And when we allow our spirit to lead the way, we choose to live in a place of peace and love. All of the teachers throughout the ages have talked about the temptations. Jesus was tempted in the desert and in the garden. And in that temptation, it wasn't his spirit being tempted, it was his ego. And Jesus taught how to remove and let the ego step aside and allow the spirit to rise above those temptations. There are many, many stories in the Bible. This time of year, we're also celebrating Passover. And that story of Moses and the Pharaoh is really symbolic of the fight between the ego and the spirit. Moses being the spirit, freeing the people, and Pharaoh being the ego, holding them back. Because the ego will always hold us back, won't it? The spirit will help us to rise. So we have a choice each and every moment, whether we will rise to our spirit or whether we will give in to that ego. You know, we're all facing at this time a battle each and every day. And that battle is where we give in to the fear, where we sit in front of the TV and feed ourselves on the coronavirus all day long and sit in fear and worry. Or will we give ourselves to our spirit? Will we let our spirit rise? Will we choose to sit in the divine light and to really feel that peace of God and that knowing that we're eternal? We are all right. We can't be destroyed. We are eternal beings. And when we realize that, we can sit in that peace of God and allow ourselves to move in that peace from one moment to another. But the struggle is always there. We're always a choice. So we need to make that choice to allow our spirit to lead us over and over and over again. There's a wonderful Native American story that I'd like to share with you. There was once an old Cherokee grandfather, and he was teaching his grandson. And he said to the grandson, "A fight is going on inside of me. It is a terrible fight. It is between two wolves. One is evil. He is anger and envy and sorrow and grief and regret and greed and arrogance. He is self-pity and guilt and resentment. He is inferiority. He is lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. The other is good. He is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The same fight is going on inside of you and inside every other person." And the grandson thought about it for a moment. And he said to his grandfather, "Well, which wolf will win?" And the grandfather said, "The one you will feed." And that is such a wonderful story to help us remember. What are we feeding each and every day? Are we feeding the goodness, the beauty, the wonder, the love, and the kindness? Are we using those spiritual attributes within us each and every day? Or are we feeding the other? Because we are responsible for ourselves. We create our own reality. We create our own happiness by feeding our spirit. So as we move through these days, Let us feed our spirits. Let us bring inspiration into our spirits. Let us open to the wisdom and guidance that is around us. Sit and read something that inspires you, not something that will frighten you. Allow yourself to feed that spirit that you are. Allow yourself to become the best that you can be. Allow that spirit to shine. We all have been given an opportunity to let our spirit lead, to allow our spiritual gifts to come forward. We have the time, most of us. And it's time to let go of that lower self and allow that higher self to rise above, to let the ego take a lower step and to get in touch with the higher part of us and to find who we really are. Because so many of us don't even know who we really are inside. We don't take the time in our busy lives. So we've been given the time to look within and see, who am I? Who am I really as a spiritual being? I have another story I want to share with you. It's about an eagle and a chicken. And once upon a time, there was a big mountain. And on that mountain was a tree that held an eagle's nest. And in that nest was 5 eagle eggs. And one day, one of the eggs rolled out of the nest, rolled down the mountain, and it landed in a farm very close to the mountain. Well, the farmer found the egg. And so he took the eagle egg and he put it in with the chickens. And the wonderful little hen sat on that egg and helped it to hatch. And the eagle started life with the little chickens. And he did what he was supposed to do. He followed, he learned from the chickens. And all along he thought he was a chicken just like them. But since the chickens could only fly a short distance, the eagle also learned to only fly a short distance. He thought that was what he was supposed to do, so that was all that he could do. As a consequence, that was all he was able to do. One day, the eagle saw a great bird flying high above him. He was so impressed and he longed to be like that bird. He said, "Who is that?" He asked the hens around him. "That's the eagle, the king of the birds," the hens told him. "He belongs to the sky. We belong to the earth. We are just chickens." Now, there are 2 endings to this story. One, so the eagle lived and died as a chicken, for that's what he thought he was. The other is, the eagle kept watching those eagles soar. And each and every day he spread his wings a little wider. And each and every day he rose and he flew higher and longer until one day he could soar like the eagles and rise above and join his brothers and be what he was born to be. What a wonderful story. Which ending is better? Which ending would you choose? Because we sometimes get lost in what we're doing in life and what we're supposed to do in life. And we don't check in with our own spirits, with our own souls. We don't spend the time to review what's going on within us. So you have a choice. What remains within you to be delivered to the world? Spend time finding out who you are. And sometimes it takes a lot of work. We have to put that work in to become our greatest and highest selves. But we can do it. You can do it. So this Easter, celebrate who you are. Review, reflect, feel into your own soul, and see who you really are. Will you be an eagle or will you be a chicken? It's all up to you. Wishing you a blessed and sacred Easter day and a week ahead. May God bless you all. And now we'll have a musical selection by Damien, LaCount, and Branigan Reed, who will sing Hallelujah.
I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her sleeping on the roof. Her beauty in the moonlight overthrew you. She took your feelings of despair. She stopped the pain and she stroked your hair. And from your lips she drew the hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Baby, I've been here before. I know these rooms, I've walked this floor. I used to live alone before I knew you. And I've seen your flag on the marble arch, but love is not a victory march. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, I tried my best, it wasn't much. I couldn't feel, so I tried to touch. I told the truth, I didn't come to fool you. And even though it all went wrong, we'll stand before the Lord of song with nothing on our tongues but hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
Thank you, Branigan and Damien, for that wonderful song. We're so blessed to have you with us and to be able to see these videos. And thank you to Rob as well, who we'd love to see him and his accompaniment. So now it's time for our message portion of our service, a time when we work to prove that life continues. Because as Jesus rose from the dead, proving that life continues, we bring messages from the highest side of life to prove to you that your loved ones still exist, still know you, still love you, still realize what's going on around you. So I'm going to open up in just a moment and see who from the spirit world is trying to reach you. And please open your hearts and listen. What I found in working this way, because I don't have you in front of me, many, many spirits are coming in together in their similarities. So if you can take some of the pieces, please know those are your loved ones. They're coming through together to throw out their information so you know that they're there supporting you in this time. So I will do my best to bring through all the evidence they're bringing. And if you recognize it, please put in a comment, send an email. And thank everybody who has sent those emails throughout the last few weeks, because it's really important for us to know they are being recognized. They are reaching people. And hopefully their messages are universal that can reach each and every heart. So bear with me for just a moment and I'll see who's ready to come in. Okay, I feel like I have a number of women coming in around me, and they all feel very motherly, very nurturing, and they're also coming in with a lot of cooking. So I feel like I'm asking them to separate just a little bit so I can get some of that evidence from them. I feel like one particular, very short, I feel like she was just a little bitty of a thing, but she had a powerhouse within her, and she was the boss. She was the matriarch of the family, and in family gatherings it was her house that everyone came to, and everybody had a job. And I feel like she's coming in talking about how she assigned people what they needed to do, and they needed to do it right, because she was quite a boss, and she took great care in how she delivered her food or presented her food, I should say. She liked a beautiful presentation. I feel like as I'm sitting at the table with her, I have a very large table and there's quite a few people, and I see a children's table off in the side, so I feel like a very large family. I feel like there's sons and daughters and also their spouses and their children, and so the family has grown and grown over the years, and she really enjoyed bringing everybody together on the holiday, and I feel like Easter was a really important one for her. And I feel like she's making special dishes for Easter. I feel like there's not just the universal American food, but there's more Italian food coming out on the table now. So I feel like I've got a lot of, I'm looking at ravioli, I'm looking at meatballs, I'm looking at a lot of different Italian food that's being served. But I also feel like I'm slicing a ham as well. So there's a lot of food that is serving. And I feel like she would do all of the different courses as well, because she's showing me soups and ravioli and all kinds of meats. There's different kinds of meats that she's bringing out to serve. And she's saying it took a lot of effort and a lot of work to create these feasts that would happen each and every Easter, and it took everybody to pitch in. And she's coming in today to talk about how important it is to pitch in, how important it is to think about what's needed and who has to do what. Everybody was assigned something, and I feel like she was a real gung-ho in getting everybody involved, because I feel like a lot of people wouldn't think they were really good at one thing, but she would help them and teach them how to be good at that, so that their contribution that they brought was delicious. So I felt like she would have given you the recipe of what you had to cook at home and bring with you if you were bringing something from outside. But I also feel like with a lot of grandmothers who would have served dinners to their families. I feel like I've got a number of them gathered here, and they're really coming in with an Easter celebration and realize that they're still with you. And they're still working with you as you prepare the old dishes. So I feel like she's handed me a recipe book, and I feel like someone out there has her recipes and looking at them, what can I cook? And it makes you remember her, and it makes you feel connected to her when you make the foods that she used to make. So I feel like she's encouraging you to do that because she's right there with you. I feel like she's placing her hands in your hands as you make the dough. I feel like there's an Easter bread that's being made by someone out there. I feel like it's her daughter or her granddaughter that's making it. And I feel like as she's trying to make the dough, I feel the grandmother's hands right with her to help guide her and lead her. And I feel like she's letting you know that you're doing a great job, that it's not so important that everything is perfect. In her delivery and in her presentations, it was very important to her that everything was perfect and that she did everything perfectly, and everybody else did too. And she's saying it really wasn't the perfect food because, in all honesty, she says it really wasn't perfect, that sometimes things weren't up to par in her estimation, but it didn't matter when everybody got together. So although she made a big deal about everybody having to do it perfectly ahead of time, when it actually came down to it, everybody did their best, and that was good enough, and everybody had fun, and everybody enjoyed themselves, and that's what mattered. So she's saying it's important for everybody to realize right now, you're doing the best you can. Allow yourself to do the best you can. And some days the best is great, and some days it's not so great. But it's all okay. Enjoy the moments that you can and give yourself what you need. And celebrate yourselves and your family in any possible way you can, because you're all together, connected as one, no matter where you are. She is connected to all of you. And I feel like this big, huge family gathering is a memory that she's sharing. But she says, I'm still connected to each and every one of you, even though I'm in the spirit world. There's nothing separating us because it's our love that connects us. So please take her love and take all of the grandmothers who are coming in with that cooking and those special ethnic foods, because I feel like each and every one of these women that I feel gathered here are all making different dishes, and they're representing different countries and different flavors that they brought to the holiday, because it's those flavors that made them important. It's those flavors that they added because of their nation, because of their ethnicity. Thank you. Because of that made the holiday special. So as you're preparing meals over this day or this week ahead, just think about what is the special food that reminds you of your heritage. And when you're celebrating your heritage, you're actually celebrating them, and you're remembering what makes you special. And that's important. Your heritage and your connection is always there, so honor it. These are all very proud grandmothers, very proud mothers, and they're all coming in with this sense of purpose in remembering your roots and remembering where you came from and remembering the special things about the countries that are still offering you gifts. So she's saying, make the foods that are special to you, and then when the time is right, you can share them with everyone. Because I'm seeing all of these wonderful ladies from all nationalities gathering together, laughing and smiling, and they're saying, when this is over, have a big gathering. And I'm seeing everybody out in the street sharing their special food, their special dishes, and sharing with everyone. And the important thing is that we're all united and we are celebrating each other. So celebrate your heritage and celebrate the heritage of the other people who are in your lives, because that's where we find unity. So I leave you with their blessings and lots of love. I feel like I have a younger woman here. She feels that she wasn't too old when she passed. I feel like she's in her 20s, maybe up to 30, but she feels more in her 20s. I feel like she would have had long hair. I feel a lighter color, not exactly blonde, but not really dark either. And I feel like she is dressed, she's very slim in her appearance. I feel like I would have run with her because she's making me run. I would have run, I don't know if she ran marathons, but she would run and she would work out and she would take care of her body. I feel like very slim, very fit with her. And she's talking about how she pushed herself in her training. I feel like she did run marathons is what she's telling me. And she always pushed herself beyond her limits. And she says she's not showing me yet how she passed, but I feel like she did pass at a young age. Okay, and I feel like she passed from a heart attack, that she's talking about having a heart condition that she didn't know about. So I feel like she passed from this heart condition, and I feel like she passed suddenly. And she's saying it was not because I worked out. It was not because I overstressed. It was because I didn't know that I had an issue. And she said, that's why my life was cut short. I feel like she's left behind brothers and sisters, and there are many people that mourned her passing. And she's wanting to come in to let you know that she's fine, that everything happens at the right time, that I'm not seeing that she had children. I feel like she was single, and I feel like she never really got a chance to dive into the rest of her life. She always thought, oh, the family and the relationships would come later, and she focused on her career and her physical well-being, and she said she never got a chance to really spend time in developing who she really was going to be. She passed before that, and that's a regret that she has, that she didn't stop and think about what she really wanted to do. I feel like her bucket list would have been a mile long, the places she wanted to go and the things she wanted to do and the people she wanted to meet and the people she wanted to spend time with. I feel like she had a really big heart, and she loved everybody in her life, and she didn't get to spend a lot of time with them in her final years because she didn't know they were her final years. And she's coming in to say, you never know when it's your final years. So live every day as if it is, because say the things you need to say to one another. Let people know you love them when you're with them. Don't put things off till tomorrow, what you can do today, because you never know if tomorrow will come. And she said she learned a lot when she looked back in her life, that she was young. She thought everything, she was going to live forever, and she never gave a thought about her eternal being, she says. She never gave a lot of thought to her spirituality and who she really was in regard to that. And she said she's found so much more on the highest side of life. She's gotten to learn who she really was and what she had to give. And there was so much more that she could have brought into each and every moment, into each and every relationship. And so she's encouraging everyone to bring their full self into your relationships. Be who you are. Don't hide. Just allow everything that's within you out so that people really get to know you. Because her sense is that people knew her, but they didn't know her essence because she didn't share it. And that's the one regret that she has. They didn't know her fully. And it's because she didn't have the time and she waited. She's saying a lot of people go through that change when they hit their 40s and they come into an understanding of who they really are and what their real purpose is. But she didn't get to that point. When she's saying, don't wait till you get to that point, start questioning yourself now. How can I be more myself with people. Don't hide. Let them know everything about you. The relationships grow so much stronger and so much broader when you do. So she's coming in. She's a beautiful spouse. She's a really beautiful woman, very fit and strong and very loving and very kind. I feel like she would have liked to go out with her friends. I felt like she had a lot of acquaintances and a lot of people really cared to spend time with her, and she's missing all the people that she would go out and have fun with. She's showing me memories of looking out on boats in the ocean, and I feel like she's sharing a memory of being out on a boat and enjoying the ocean in the summer. And so I don't feel like it's her boat, but I feel like she went out on someone else's boat with a group of people and really enjoyed that. And she's bringing me the happy memories and the memories of spending time in the summer. And also she's brought me a Christmas tree and Christmas memories of being around different gatherings. And I feel like she would have had people in many areas of her life, because she's showing me at Christmas going from one Christmas party to another Christmas party. So I felt like she knew a lot of people and she networked with a lot of people. So these are the acquaintances that she really appreciated. So take her blessings and her love and know that she's come in to share that wisdom, that to live for today, be who you are, share who you are, and love every moment. Because as she looks at her life, she loved her life. She loved the people in it. And her only regret is that she didn't share as much as she could have in her life. And I leave you with her great love and blessings. Okay, I feel like I have a gentleman who comes in. He feels like a grandfather as he steps in. I feel like I would have had difficulty hearing because I'm sensing a hearing aid in my ear. So as he got older, his hearing got diminished. And I feel like he also had a cane and had a little bit difficult time walking as he got older. He's talking about being with his grandchildren and being with his family as well. And he's talking about how sometimes there were a lot of jokes about how he would hear things, and because he would repeat things and they would be completely off. So he's coming in with a good sense of humor. I feel like in his older age, he learned how to laugh at himself and to find the humor in things. And he's coming in to say, don't forget about humor, because humor gets us through everything. And he was someone who all through his life was a very humorous guy. He had a great sense of humor, and he would have liked to tell jokes. I feel like sometimes people would just sort of look at him because they didn't always get it, but he would like to make people laugh, and he would like to share his wisdom. I feel as he got older, he felt like he had a lot to share, and he wanted people to listen to his stories, because I feel like I'm telling stories with this gentleman to his little grandchildren, and he would have told the same stories to his children as well. I'm seeing girls with him. I feel like the grandchildren are girls, and he would tell stories to them, but I feel like he had 2 sons and a daughter, and I feel like he would have shared stories with them as they were growing up. I feel like he was, in his younger years, he would have worked hard. I don't know why, but he's bringing me a railroad, and I feel like I would have worked, I had something to do with the railroad, and I would have taken trains in my work, but because I feel like he worked really hard, and he put in a long day. I feel like he's bringing me back into time when things were difficult, when you had to really work. I feel like he's showing me the depression when he would do anything to feed his family. So he's bringing me back to the beginnings of his life and to talking about how difficult things were. But they changed and things got better. And that's what I feel like he's coming in today to talk about. things got better. We've gone through many dark ages in his life. He went through many dark periods. He lived through the Depression, he survived it, and then he moved through many other difficulties in his life. I feel like his wife would have passed long before him, and that really was a difficulty for him. He grieved her greatly, and I feel like he's showing me he's with her now with a big smile on his face because he missed her terribly. But he's talking about moving through things together and helping each other. And to always remember the sun is always shining above those clouds, that this too will pass. The one thing you can count on is change. Change will always happen. So even in our darkest days, the days get brighter each and every day. So hang on, hold on. Things will get better. You'll be together again, and the sun will shine. And I feel like he's bringing humor to help everyone really feel that sense of laughter and joy, and allow that laughter and joy to carry you through these weeks. And who knows how long we'll be in quarantine, but humor helps us move through. So please take his joy, his laughter, and his humor, and allow yourself to watch comedies, read funny jokes, share jokes, and watch the things on Facebook that are really funny. Let yourself laugh, because he's telling me, or she's telling me, he's with his wife now, is coming in, she's saying laughter is the best medicine. So I feel like they're both coming in together, helping people to understand that you can laugh through anything. It will get you through, that it's not the first time and it won't be the last that there are difficult days. It's just all part of life. We just have to keep on going and hold our head up high and know that this too will pass. So please take their love and their blessings, and know there are many people with these two. The grandmother has very soft, short, curly hair, and she's pretty sturdy as she comes in. I feel like she would have had a little extra weight, and I feel like she would have had some difficulties in her hips and her legs before she passed. And I feel like she wants to be heard from as well. So beside them are also many other grandparents that are coming in to let you know this too will pass. Use your humor, use your light, use your laughter to get through. And I leave you with their much love and great blessings, and so much laughter and joy. Thank you. And we thank all of our loved ones who have gathered here today. There's not enough time to separate all of these amazing souls that are coming through and to reach each and every one of you. But know that you have all been touched by the love of Spirit today. They are sharing their love with you. Please send your love out to them, because they do get it, and know you're never alone. So we give thanks to all of them for joining us today and all the support and love they've given us. And we have just a few announcements. We hope you've enjoyed the service. If you have, please like the channel or subscribe to it so that you'll get notifications when we post again. We're going to continue to post a service each and every week. And we'd love to hear from you, and your comments and emails are greatly appreciated. Also, just a reminder that donations are gratefully accepted on our website, www.greaterbostonchurchofspiritualism.com. You can click the donate button, and every little bit helps, because we do have expenses to pay for with no collection each Sunday, so it makes a difference. So we appreciate everything that you can do for us. Also, a reminder that Dominic Bogue will not be visiting us in May. As you probably know, those flights have been canceled. So I know that he's with us in spirit, and we're hoping to see him again in October, but time will tell. So please continue to join us each and every Sunday for our service. And now I'd like to close with a closing prayer. Infinite Spirit, we give thanks for your presence within us and around us. Help us to carry your light, to carry your love, to honor our own spirits as we move through the weeks ahead. Please protect us from this virus. Help it to be eradicated quickly in our world, and help us always remember that we are united as one family under you. Help us to realize the love we have within us and to share it with all we touch until we meet again. Amen. Have a great week, everyone. God bless you all, and happy Easter.